we're going to start with Shreya. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. So I'm Shreya Venkat. I'm a 19-year-old sophomore at Georgetown University, majoring in global health. And I'm also the co-founder and CEO of Nest for Us, which is a nonprofit formed as a philanthropic platform built upon kindness, generosity, and social good. Our mission is to make the world better through kindness by mobilizing volunteers worldwide to advance progress on societal issues and spark equitable solutions for the greater good. Through our 5 core programs, we tackle over 14 of the UN Sustainable Development Goals and a plethora of other societal issues, including global hunger, climate change, quality education, poverty, sustainability, female empowerment, equity, and more. Over the years, we've impacted tens of thousands of people in almost 30 countries across 6 continents globally in a multitude of ways. And in 2019, I had the great honor of being one of 9 individuals nationwide to be selected as a Digital4Good winner for making a positive difference in the community. And since then, I've been involved with I Can Help through various mediums, and I'm super excited to be part of this amazing panel today. Thank you so much, I Can Help, for this wonderful opportunity, and I look forward to hearing from my fellow youth changemakers here as well.
Okay, so thank you very much for that beautiful introduction and for making me feel like an utter and complete slacker in my life, because you've already just knocked out 1.5 million things that I have not even taken steps towards. So excited to have you here, excited to hear more once we jump into the conversation. Thank you. Hey, Riley.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
You know what? I am living the dream and having the most fun ever hanging
Good
out
to
with
hear.
y'all. Yes. So introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your organization.
Yes, of course. So, hi everyone. My name is Riley Damiano. I'm a 19-year-old sophomore at Rhodes College in Memphis, Tennessee, and I'm majoring in neuroscience with a minor in health equity. In 2019, I had the great honor of being one of the 2019 Digital4Good winners alongside Shreya and Olivia, who are also here tonight, among others. So for my project, the Blue Lollipop Project, I was given this honor, and for that I am so very grateful. The Blue Lollipop Project helps fund pediatric cancer research while also sharing the magic of a blue lollipop with children in hospitals across the country. I was inspired to start this project in 2014 in honor of pediatric brain cancer warrior Ty Lewis Campbell, who loved blue lollipops. And as a child myself, I connected with the joy that something as simple as a blue lollipop brought him. Since starting the project in 2014, I've raised over $20,000 for pediatric cancer research, sent over 20,000 blue lollipops to children in hospitals across the country, and engaged hundreds of youth around the country in holding their own blue lollipop fundraisers and realizing what it means to be a youth change maker and how at any age you can be a part of making a difference.
That is so amazing and such impactful work. And I love the way that you're highlighting how something so small, which could maybe be insignificant to some people, as a blue lollipop, can really just bring so much joy to people who really need it. But you're also utilizing that to make a major difference in the world. So again, thank you for making me feel like a complete slacker, but also changing the world for the good of us all. So you are an amazing company. Olivia, now I don't know if I'm ready because I've already been blown away by just intros from your peers here. So, I mean, do I need to get a seatbelt for my little office chair here to hear what it is that you're working on?
I don't know if I can live up to the expectations.
I feel like you're going to far exceed them, but introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your company and your project as well.
I would love to. Hi, my name is Olivia Rush. I'm 20 years old. I'm from Pennsylvania. When I was 14 years old, I was the victim of a traumatic brain injury from bullying, and I was lucky to survive, and I was told that I would never dance again. After a few months of therapy and not making any progress, I decided to start dancing and using that to help me get better, and over turn, that ended up being what saved my life. And I started mentoring kids and teaching them after sharing my story on YouTube and social media. And eventually I combined my love for dance and how it saved me, and I turned it into Dance to Make a Change, which is a nonprofit organization focused around helping victims of bullying and trauma have a safe space and an outlet and a place where they can express themselves and make sure everyone feels included and has a great time. And I was lucky enough to be a Digital4Good winner for 2019, along with Riley and Shreya and other amazing projects. And yeah, it's just been amazing.
Yep, blown away. Can't even begin to just imagine. You are amazing. Thank you for the work that you're doing, and so glad that you're a survivor and a fighter, and that you are taking a situation that could have been terrible and turning it around and helping others to get through it as well. So yes, exceeded expectations. So you know what? I'm not even worried about it.
Thank you.
It's so great
Charlie.
to see such young, inspirational change makers. And I'm also really glad to see Riley here, fellow PR Peach.
Yes, I completely forgot to mention, I worked with I Can Help for 2 of the years. First as a student engagement specialist, and secondly with Kaden as a PR Peach, as we called ourselves, PR specialists. Shout out to Mitch. Love you. Yeah, working with I Can Help not only in the Digital4Good aspect as a 2019 winner, but also as a specialist has been just such a great opportunity.
We are so honored to have you and everyone else here today.
We are indeed. And Charlie, how are you?
Good. How are you?
You know, hanging out, having a good time, being
We're
amazed and
tired.
wowed. And
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
ready to be wowed by you.
Same, giving, and you will be. Thank you very much. I would just like to take this time just first before I say anything. All of you guys' projects sound absolutely amazing, and I'm just like wowed to be on a panel with all of you guys. It's just like actually insane for me. But hey y'all, I'm Charlie. I'm a 17-year-old app developer and aspiring game designer, and the co-creator of the Not Okay app. So the Not Okay app is a digital panic button that when pressed, it sends a text message to your pre-selected up to 5 closest contacts with a text message that says, "Hey, I'm not okay. Come call me, text me, or come check up on me," along with your current GPS location and directions. And we just hit over 150,000 downloads because we just launched in the UK and Canada. Nice.
Saving lives through technology, and you're worldwide, you're global. Internationally known and locally accepted is what we would call you. You're doing it. That is amazing. And you are deservingly on this panel because you're doing great work also. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm going to download that. Can I just get that at the App Store?
Yeah, it's on all app stores that you can get it on. It's amazing. Love it.
Cool project. Like that's so like different. I haven't seen anything like that. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. That means so much, especially coming from you.
Awesome. So you would think just hearing what you all are doing is enough, but no, we're actually going to get to hear more from you all about what drives you. So you're all very young, yet mature and focused, and as my shirt says, goal-oriented and whatnot. But my question is, why entrepreneurship? What made you want to get into this, to pursue the idea? Because everybody has bright ideas all the time. Anybody have shower time inspiration where you just have bright ideas in the shower and then like as soon as you put your clothes on, it's like gone, it's vapor with the steam on the mirror? So who would like to go first to tell me what made you push past the idea phase to make your dream a reality, or your thought or your passion?
For me personally, I think growing up, I never had the same mindset as people or like kids around me, where everyone was very much programmed to do what they like were told to do. And I was always the one like dancing in the corner and like making up choreo with my friends. And the older I got and it came to like getting a job and to school and all that stuff, I just could never see myself like getting a 9-to-5 job. And I just knew that I wanted to do something that created not only a path for me, but in a way that I could also incorporate things that had happened to me to help others and turn that into a different avenue and passion to help other people.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Thank you.
Anyone else? What drives you? What made you want to push into an idea? Yeah, go for it. Riley.
So for me, my inspiration for the Blue Lollipop Project was a little boy named Ty Lewis Campbell who battled pediatric brain cancer until unfortunately he passed away in 2012 when he was just 5 years old. And I started following his story through his mom's blog. She used to post daily updates about how Ty was doing. And I started following that blog when I was just 9 years old. And it hit me very quickly seeing what Ty was going through and realizing that it didn't sit well with me that there are so few options for pediatric cancer warriors like Ty, and seeing what he was going through, not only the impacts of the cancer on him, but also the impact of the side effects that the treatments had. Treatments for pediatric cancer are severely outdated. Many of them are just toned down versions of what adults are given. And to me, and I think to many others, kids deserve more and better treatments than this. So especially after Ty passed away, I couldn't understand how this little boy was told that he had no more treatment options. And when I thought about what I wanted to do about that, I knew that I didn't want to focus on Ty's cancer, but also more so wanted to focus on the joy that Ty had for life and the joy that Blue Lollipops brought to him. So when I started the Blue Lollipop Project, I started off with $1,000 goal, trying to raise $1,000 for pediatric cancer research. And I quickly, when I met that goal, I realized that this wasn't just an idea that I had, but it was something that also resonated with others, which I think really propelled me forward in bringing the Blue Lollipop Project to where it is today.
That is awesome. Thank you. So, oh, no, go ahead, Shreya.
No, sure. Okay. So since I was young, I've always been fascinated with the world. Just whenever I'd go out in the community with my family and friends, whether it be for sightseeing, volunteering, whatever it might be, I'd observe so many different issues in the community. And then one day, that got my 13-year-old mind thinking. There are millions of people in the world who don't have access to basic necessities and support systems. And this is proof that the world needs people to spark change and to build a better future. So I thought, why couldn't that be me? Why couldn't I be that change that I wanted to see in the world? Right? This is me, my 13-year-old mind thinking, what can I do to help? Fast forward a little over 5 years from then, and here I am with my own nonprofit Nest for Us that I founded with my sister Isha. And that's grown to a global movement spanning 27 countries across 6 continents, with over 4,000 volunteers of all ages and all backgrounds, who all together have contributed over $1.8 million in value of volunteer hours. I mean, just thinking of that is just so amazing, and it just makes my heart feel so warm inside. And in terms of what drives me, that answer is simple. It's the connections I've made in my service journey that have motivated me to continue not only serving the most vulnerable in the community, but also just creating new and diverse opportunities for other families and other friends to give back towards the issues that they're passionate about. Because I'm happy to have found my passion through service, and I want to kind of give that opportunity for others to find their passions as well.
Well, I'm glad that you followed your brilliant 13-year-old mind to make that happen, and to have those type of results and to have it span so broadly is mind-blowing. But that just shows what focus can bring about, how it can drive a major difference. And it doesn't have to wait until you're a certain age or you have enough money. If you have the passion, you can go for it and make it happen. So the title of this webinar, this conversation, Charlie, go ahead. Come on, listen, this is the conversation. Y'all jump in, y'all talk. Don't wait for me to say something. You got something to say, bring it. This is for y'all to share. Come on.
Sorry, I just wanted to add something to that. Entrepreneurship, honestly, it's just to the why I did it, it's because there was nothing like that out there. And I had an idea, and I knew that if I didn't do it, that no one would, because sometimes ideas, you're just like, oh, well, that probably already exists out there. And if it does, you could probably do it better out there. And what drives me is honestly because I made this app for my sister who just needed it at the point in life where she was. And what drives me is just seeing how many people I've actually been able to help with it. Because when I made this app for my sister, I'm just like, okay, great. I'll just try to get it on like some app store so that like she could actually use it on her phone when she's like about to pass out. But then I saw the downloads keep on going up into like the hundreds and then eventually like the thousands and like the tens of thousands. And I was like, as like a 12-year-old being like, what just happened? Like, I did not expect this. So what just drives me is just being able to see like the hope in people's hearts that like what I've made has been able to like give to them and has just been able to like spread around the world. So yeah, that's that.
Thank you. And it is. I'm sure that you've changed and saved lives already because you followed what it was that you were led to do, which is great. And so my question following up with that is, when you're passionate about something, a lot of the time, sometimes you can go overboard and it consumes you and you do that thing all the time. And right now with social media such that it is, and everybody is about, like the title of our conversation, hustle mentality of, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Not me, I like naps. I enjoy sleeping. I don't know about y'all. I like to sleep. So that's, that mentality that if you're not working, you're wasting time or you're not being as productive as you could be. How do you balance that expectation out, especially when people hear you're an entrepreneur, with actually making sure that you're taking care of yourself and not pushing yourself to burnout? Yes, Riley.
I think the concept of hustle to me is less so about always working and never stopping to think about myself and what might need to be done instead of just like moving forward. I actually had the opportunity to be part of a web series titled Hustle through the American Student Association, which actually was a big part of my application to the 2019 Digital4Good Awards. That video now has over 6 million views. And my goal in that video, I tell my change-making story. And in part of the video, I sat down with a group of my peers at my high school, and the videographer asks, like, what does hustle mean to you? And again, it's not just all about like go mindset, but also being able to take a retrospective and like introspective look at yourself and think about what you can do not only to further your entrepreneurship or your projects, but also what you can do to like better yourself. For me, especially with COVID, that has been important. The Blue Lollipop Project has definitely faced a lot of road bumps along the way due to COVID. Students across the country holding fundraisers wasn't necessarily very realistic when most schools were remote. And just being able to accept those types of things and move forward from it. And even if that means taking a little bit of a detour, I think that's part of what hustle means to me.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Olivia, how do you balance hustling or the pressure to hustle or to keep going or to be busy or to appear busy with your own self-care or just doing what you want to do versus doing what you think other people are expecting you to be doing?
That is a great question. I think hustling, to me, I agree with Riley in the sense of it doesn't always necessarily have to be go, go, go. And I did learn that the hard way from burning out from go, go, go. And now as I'm getting older, I kind of understand that it's not about what you're doing 24/7. It's just about what you're doing and creating in the time that you're setting for yourself to do that, and make sure that you're being productive and selective with your time and separating that time for that other time for yourself to make sure you're checking in with yourself daily, see how you're feeling. Are you mentally okay? And are you able to do that today? It's perfectly okay to have a lazy day and a day where you do nothing and then a day where you do everything all at once. It's just about making sure that you're taking care of yourself first, because you can't help others if you're not okay.
I wish I were half as smart as you all are now when I was your age. I would be so much further in life. Y'all get it already. And I love y'all for it. I really do. And you may not feel like you do, but I promise you there are grown people who don't have the understanding that you all are relaying right now. And that you are able to produce, to keep going in your education, as well as maintaining your businesses and your pursuits, is amazing. And I'm over here giddy right now. I'm trying not to rock back and forth because I'm just enjoying listening to you all so much. Shreya, did you have something to add?
Yeah, I mean, just thinking about like ever since I was young, just phrases like never give up on your dreams, don't stop believing in yourself, keep shooting for the stars. These are all usually coined as motivators to push people to be the best versions of themselves. But I think there's a specific point where that line gets crossed, and that's really where hustle culture becomes toxic. I mean, just phrases like I'm addicted to hustling, I get depressed when I feel like I'm not being productive. But you might be wondering, wait, isn't being productive a good thing? Like something we all strive to be? We always strive to be productive. But if you look deeper into that phrase, you'll notice some red flag words: addiction, depressed, words like that. And as many of us know, too much of anything is definitely not healthy for you physically, mentally, or emotionally. And hustle culture kind of covers all three of these spheres, making it a really debilitating and potentially deadly phenomenon that often gets hidden behind our expectations of productivity, one's capacity, ambition, grit, or just ability to push ourselves to our limits. And then for me personally, just in order to help others or in order to just carry on with your own life, right? And to be able to take care of yourself, you have to be physically, mentally, and emotionally well, right? Before you're able to take care of other people, you have to physically, mentally, and emotionally be well, and take care of yourself. And so that's why taking care of my mental health is personally a top priority for me. And it's really what allows me to do all the different things that I do in my life, is just because I focus on taking care of myself first and then putting that energy out into the community to help other people.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Based off of hustle culture, people just neglect their mental health, just in favor of, like, as you said, just hustling, keeping going at it, like, like the whole I'll sleep when I die. And I think that this is actually a lot more prevalent in, like, especially like minority communities, because I know for a fact that because I'm a Black kid in America, my parents said you have to work, everyone knows this, you have to work twice as hard to get treated as half as good. And I think that that really just permeates the majority of societies, and especially with hustle culture, because people just want to keep on pushing and pushing and pushing to be the best version of themselves without ever actually taking any breaks to, like, sit and just consider and, like, ponder their mental health and think about, hey, am I doing good today? Do I need to take a break? Do I need to step away from this? Do I need to take like 1-2 days away from this project and then come back and I'll just be better at it than before? And I think that that's just a really important thing that us as a society actually need to start thinking about in terms of hustle culture and mental health.
I promise you, y'all get it. And it's taken a really long time for other people to catch up, even myself. Just everything that you're saying and everything you just said, Charlie, yeah, it's real. And the pressure to keep going because there's a perception that maybe what you're doing is never enough. You have to overcome that and have a personal sense of satisfaction with your progress versus measuring yourself against somebody else's yardstick.
Where your understanding of, like, what you need to do to make sure that you are doing all right, it shows in the work that you do, like the distance that you're able to take your entrepreneurship and your I'm sorry and your organizations. It's really reflective of how well you understand yourselves and your own mental health.
Awesome. So I'm going to start with Charlie because I feel like you've been bringing up the rear for us. So we're gonna lead off with you right now. So tell me, what does success look like to you?
Success to me, honestly, is just success just in general is usually viewed as something that's just like way over there, like basically inachievable until you're like, I don't know, making like 7 figures a year in a massive like penthouse apartment, rich, you don't have to actually worry about bills. But success to me is just a place where I'm mentally stable and I'm mentally fine and everything in my life is going pretty good. You know, success to me is where I actually focus on my self-care and my mental health is actually skyrocketing and actually going amazing because I'm actually focusing on myself instead of just focusing on what's happening outside of me and focusing on having like a 6-figure, 7-figure job and like focusing on being like rich and focusing on hustling and hustling and hustling until I actually have it. Success to me is actually when I'm happy.
I love it. Shreya, what does success look like to you?
Yeah, I mean, just that was beautifully said, Charlie. And just adding on, I mean, to me, success is best measured by, right, the amount of hard work, the amount of dedication you put, but not just that, right? You want to be known for the impact that you make on people's lives, right? And not for any personal recognitions, not for how much money you make, not for how much of that hustle you're doing, right? And I think that's really what's made my experiences and my impact so much more fruitful is that it's not done because of money or fame or anything like that. It's done because I feel really good when I'm helping other people, and helping other people, it makes me feel good. So it's like that dual kind of happiness that comes into it. And I actually wanted to share a quote by Steve Jobs that kind of summarizes this in a really concise way. So the quote is, "Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it." And basically, this is just saying at the end of the day, whatever you decide to do with your life, be sure to find something you love doing and stick to it, because that way you'll never feel like you're working a day in your life. And for many, it takes time to find. I'm lucky to have created the very thing that brings me countless amounts of joy each and every day, and know that all of you have the power in you to either find or create something, much like my fellow changemakers here have, that brings you the same amount of joy and fulfillment as Nest for Us does for me.
Beautifully stated. Thank you. Olivia, what does success look like to you?
I have to agree with the cheesy way of saying it. Success to me is happiness. I feel like a lot of the times we get caught up in titles and followers and fame and all this stuff. And at the end of the day, those are all things of this world and materials that were created. We didn't know those things when we were born, before we existed. And when we were a kid, you know, happiness was the most important thing to us. And I think it's the same thing as we get older. And lots of the time we lose sight of that. And I think as long as I'm healthy and I'm happy and surrounded by people who love me and I'm doing what I love, then I'm always successful.
I love it. That's great. Riley?
I think for me, my perspective on success has changed a lot over the course of time. I used to think about success in a very goal-driven way. And the way I try to think about success and just like my hopes for life now is more on a journey-oriented way. So I'm trying to be less goal-oriented and more journey-oriented, because to me, being successful isn't only about getting to the end point, but it's also about how you get there. Part of that for me has been, again, trying to be able to be tolerant of ambiguity is something I often like to say is something I'm working on. Being able to look at the road ahead as being something that's unknown and not placing a single marker as to where I hope I end up, but being aware that what success will look like for me, whether that means success an hour from now, success tomorrow, a week from now, a year from now, 50 years from now, you don't know what it's going to look like, and you can kind of like hope for a general direction and hustle towards that general direction, but to have a very rigid and only goal oriented mindset, to me, being successful is more about enjoying and making the most of the journey.
I love it. I'm telling y'all, I didn't realize that until I was well into my 30s, that yes, it's all about not just getting to the goal, but the process, because the small wins add up to the bigger win. And you have to learn how to celebrate yourself along the way to keep yourself motivated and to keep going, and to the burnout that was mentioned, to, you know, getting discouraged, to getting bored with things, especially if it's starting to seem tedious. It's about celebrating the small wins along the way.
Personally, I find it so interesting how you guys all had a little bit of a different way of defining your success, but all of them really like speak to how you're balancing your like hustle mentality and like where you want to take your impact, with also making sure that you are happy and satisfied with the work that you're doing and not overworking yourself. But I mean, it's clearly working for you guys, or you wouldn't be here. You guys are really crushing it.
Agreed. Definitely crushing it all the way. So I could talk to y'all all for the rest of the week, I promise. But so we're going to go to our last question of the conversation. And this is about Digital4Good and how it's impacted your growth. And what would you like to share, or what's the most memorable part about your experience? So I'm going to start with Olivia.
This is an answer I'm very confident about. Digital4Good for me basically changed my life in like the best way possible. I don't want to say I had no idea what I was doing, but I was very young and scared, and I was definitely listening to a lot of the judgment around me about like, oh, that's stupid, like no one cares about that. And when I really came to I Can Help and Digital4Good and the event, it just gave me so much clarity, and they guided me so much and gave me so much insight on not only what I could do with what I had now, but how to prolong it and continue it through the future. And it just made me so happy and passionate about feeling like I could really make a difference in the world. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without the support and the continued support from Digital4Good and I Can Help.
Thank you. Awesome. Let's go, Charlie.
Well, Digital4Good, it completely changed my whole outlook about things, especially things at Not Okay, and how like my actual scaling of like the app could look, because it really just opened up the fact that I don't have to just be a 501c3 supported nonprofit, and I don't just have to like put hours and hours and hours after hour, just like how we were just talking about with hustle culture, into the app, and that I can take breaks sometimes, and that I can just take mental health days, and that's completely fine. And Digital4Good just helped me open up my mind about things like that, and it just helped my app just absolutely take off.
Awesome. Riley.
To try to figure out how to like summarize how Digital4Good and I Can Help You change my life would be difficult. Immediately my mind comes upon like a couple of different anecdotes. I remember when I first got involved with I Can Help and found out I was a 2019 Digital4Good winner, I'd asked my high school, hey, would you be interested in live streaming the Digital4Good event? And I clearly remember that the dean of students at my school asked me, why in the world would we want to promote kids and teens using technology in a school setting? Like, why would we set apart an hour of our day to allow this live stream to be given? And he asked this from a very open-minded place, but it kind of made me realize that there's this perspective that technology and social media, especially from generations that didn't grow up with social media as we in our generation are, kind of can have this negative perspective on it from the outside. And that is very it's very true that that social media can have its negatives, but something that Digital for Good and my work on the Blue Lollipop project has helped me realize is the incredible connections you can make through digital platforms and the incredible impact you can make through things like social media. My mentor and I from Digital for Good, Ashley Thill, and I still keep in regular contact, and her, as well as the other mentors that I met at the event before and after the event as well, have just been people who've not only helped me move forward with my project, but also really made me think critically about my goals for myself and who I am as a person, what's important to me. And for that, I'm just so grateful to everyone at I Can Help and to be able to have taken part in Digital for Good.
Awesome, thank you. And last but not least, to wrap us up, Shreya.
Yes. So just echoing what the other amazing panelists have said, I mean, Digital for Good was honestly one of the coolest experiences I've ever been a part of. And I've been a part of a lot of cool experiences. I mean, just from like meeting with the industry experts at Instagram headquarters and then going and speaking at Facebook headquarters, like mind-blowing experiences, right? And just meeting all the other incredible youth change makers who are making such a positive difference through technology, like Riley was saying, just showing the importance of using technology for good, and showing the world that Gen Z, we really are here to make a change and to make a positive difference. And just talking about I Can Help again, it's a really great platform for youth around the world to project positivity, develop leadership, and spread social good. I mean, since Digital for Good, I've learned how to enhance Nest for Us's social media platforms so that we can keep spreading our messages far and wide, integrate many of the digital marketing tools discussed during meetings with the industry leaders at Instagram and Facebook headquarters, and also forge new partnerships and connections, just like Olivia was saying, with other young changemakers worldwide. And last year, I was actually chosen to be a Shark Tank judge for Digital for Good, which was really cool, because I was so lucky to have connected with so many incredible people, both from Digital for Good and through Nest for Us. So being able to be that mentor and part of that same support system for another entrepreneur was so incredibly special for me. And I can't wait to see how the Digital for Good experience changes the lives of the next group of incredible youth changemakers.
Thank you all so much for your amazing contributions to this conversation, your amazing contributions to the world overall. Thank you for following your dreams and for bringing things to life that are just going to improve things moving forward far and wide. And thank you to I Can Help for the opportunity to come and have this great conversation with tomorrow's leaders. Thank you to Caden for being an excellent conversational wingman tonight. And I'm going to turn it back over.
Yeah, I would just like to super quickly thank you guys too. I would like to thank all of you for not just being here, but also for the work that you're doing. It's so beautiful how all of you guys coming from such different backgrounds could become so incredibly successful and inspirational, especially at such young ages. Congratulations, and I wish all of you guys the best of luck on your continued success. Now I just would like to take a minute to introduce my personal favorite motivational icon, Kim Carr. I met her like a year and a half ago when she spoke at an SGA event, actually, like for student government, and it was one of the best like skill shops that I've ever attended. And she was talking all about I Can Help. And that's actually, I got started with I Can Help in the middle of the year, totally random, literally just cold emailed her. And she set up a Google Meet literally the same day because she's just that amazing. And I got started with I Can Help within the month. And honestly, I think that it was one of the most impactful moments of my high school career because I was like able to join this family of people at I Can Help. And I I could actually start making a change, you know, like a meaningful change with an amazing group of people, especially in PR. Those are all my favorites. And honestly, I've just made such a friend in Kim. She is such a legend. She sends us all kinds of mail talking about how much she loves us and we love her for it. And she's really amazing at making people their best selves. So without further ado, Kim Carr, everyone.
Wasn't this event so amazing? My name is Kim Carr. I'm the executive director and the co-founder of Digital4Good, and I can help. I'm telling you, wasn't the students amazing to hear about all their different things that they're doing and make it happen? And that's what we're trying to here to do, is to remind you, go nominate somebody today. Nominations are open for Digital4Good until February 6th at midnight. So nominate yourself, nominate a friend, nominate someone who inspired you online that's doing incredible work, because we want to recognize them, get them the mentorship that they deserve and that they need, and give yourself a virtual high five for being awesome and coming here tonight. Thank you for attending and being a part of our I Can Help family. Stay awesome, everybody.